Hi, Mrs. Jacobs here at Naperville North to do a tutorial about how to solve a two-object problem where two objects are going to be at the same position and same time and how to figure out what that time is and that position is. I'm going to share my screen, and the first thing I want to go through is just generic steps about how to solve a word problem. This is for constant velocity, but this is really for any problem coming up in physics. So step one, you've got to read the problem and circle what you think is the important information. Step two, sketch a picture of the situation and label which way things are moving or how fast they're moving. Step three, sketch out any graphs or diagrams that are important for this problem. For this unit, for constant velocity, we're definitely going to be sketching out a position graph versus time graph and a velocity versus time graph. Write out any math models that match those graphs or equations that you know that fit the graphs or fit the situation. And then step five, solve for anything that you can. Sometimes students are focused on the final answer. Like, I want to calculate this time, or I want to calculate this position, or I want to calculate this force or this mass, whatever it may be. But don't focus on the final answer. Focus on the process, because really following every step helps you unpack the situation and be engaged in it and not make mistakes. And also sometimes you don't know how to get to the final answer, but doing all of these and then just solving for anything will open the door to the you can solve for this and then you can solve for this, because often these are going to be multi-step problems. Okay, here's a good sample problem for two objects. These are two cyclists that are riding towards each other. So I'm going to make sure I circle the towards each other, because that means they're headed in opposite directions, not the same direction. They're on the prairie path. Cyclist 1 is moving at 6 meters per second, and cyclist 2 is at 7.5 meters per second. Notice that neither of these is a negatives. These are really speeds, not velocities. But I'm going to have to make one of them negative. If they're headed towards each other, one is going to be moving right and one is going to be moving left. And they do start 300 meters apart. They ask, at what position will the two cyclists pass each other? Step one is to draw a picture. I'm going to have cyclist 1 starting here and moving to the right at 6 meters per second. And I'll put a positive in front of that since he's moving to the right. I'm going to have cyclist 2 start over here and move towards cyclist 1. This was cyclist 1. This is cyclist 2. He's moving at not just 7.5 meters per second, but negative 7.5 meters per second, because he's moving to the left. Now, there's nothing to say in this problem that it couldn't be reversed. Cyclist 2 could have been moving to the right and cyclist 1 could be moving to the left. At the end of this tutorial video, I'm going to have you try and set up the problem that opposite way to see if you can do that calculation. Okay? But I'm going to stick with this interpretation, and it's important to note that they are 300 meters apart from each other. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch out a position versus time graph that matches this picture and a velocity versus time graph that matches the picture. These are qualitative, so I don't need to label every single thing on the axes. I'm going to label the important things. First of all, the cyclist 1, I'm going to interpret as starting at 0 meters, and cyclist 2, I'm going to interpret starting at 300 meters. So that makes them 300 meters apart. Cyclist 1 is moving in the positive direction, and cyclist 2 is starting 300 meters up here and moving in the negative direction. This one has a velocity of positive 6 meters per second. This one has a velocity of negative 7.5 meters per second. On the velocity graph, I'm going to have a flat line, which means constant velocity. 1 is going to be at positive 6 meters per second. And the other one I'll make a little bit farther away from the x-axis to show that it's faster. Object cyclist 2 is at negative 7.5 meters per second. So I've completed steps 1 and 2. I've drawn the picture and I've drawn the graphs that match the picture. Or actually, I did steps 1, 2, and 3. I read the problem first. Step 4 is to write out any equations or math models that I can that match the graphs. I think the important equations are going to be the math models from the position graph. Remember that the general math model for a linear position graph is position equals velocity times time plus starting position. So for cyclist 1, I always keep x and t as my two variables, position and time. Cyclist 1's velocity was positive 6 meters per second, and their starting position was 0 meters. Cyclist 2, I keep, again, position and time. I substitute in the velocity of negative 7.5 meters per second plus 300 meters. Now, they want to know the position that the two pass each other, which would be this position right here. I'm not exactly sure how to get that position yet, but I do know how to get this time that they need. Whenever I want to solve for time, I have to remember that if they're at the same position, then the position of object 1, cyclist 1, equals the position of cyclist 2. I know that position 1 is equal to this equation, and I know that position of object 2 is equal to this equation. This is why I wrote out these math models, because now I'm going to be able to take these two math models and set them equal to each other, and then I will have one equation that only has time as the unknown variable. So on the left-hand side, I'm going to place the positive 6 meters per second times t plus 0. That's the one math model for cyclist 1, equal to negative 7.5 meters per second times t plus 300 meters for cyclist 2. At this point, I'm okay with you just leaving the units off, because sometimes it makes it easier to do the algebra, to realize that these are both t terms, 6t and negative 7.5t, and that's what have to get combined. So I'm going to add 7.5t to both sides. So I get 13.5t equals 300. To get t, I'm going to divide both sides by 13.5. And I'm going to do that in my calculator. 300 divided by 13.5 is 22.2 seconds repeating. I'll just round that to 2.22 seconds is t. Now, I got to realize I got my time. I know the time that they're at the same position. This is now 22.22 seconds, but I do not know this position yet. If I know the time though, and now I have my position equation, I can take this time and sub it back into either equation, and I should get the same position no matter which one I place it into. I'm going to go ahead and do it in both to see if I get the same answer. So the first one, I'm going to do 6 meters per second times 22.22 seconds. Seconds cancels, and I end up with 133.33 meters. That's the position that object 1 was at. The position object 2 should be exactly the same, but I'm just kind of double checking it. 22 seconds plus 300. So I'm going to do negative 7.5 times 22.22 first. It's negative 166.65 meters plus 300 meters. And I'm getting 133.35 meters. They're just slightly different in that last digit because of rounding of the time. So this, either of these answers is acceptable. Go ahead and box this one in. This is the position where they cross each other. It's your final answer. So my challenge to you is, Can you interpret the problem the other way? Where cyclist 2 was headed to the right and cyclist 1 was headed to the left. See if you can draw me the position graphs for that, the velocity graphs, write your math models, solve for time, and solve for position. Try that out. And then you can check your answer. Here is the final solution. You end up getting the same time that they meet, but they are actually at a different position than the previous interpretation of the problem. Okay. Hopefully this is helpful to model for you how to use all of these steps to really go through the process and unpack a problem.